Welcome to part one of mixing colors. This is going to be making our gold color. This is Lee Jones, and I am going to be making, showing how I make my white and my gold and my dark blue that is supposed to resemble the Mystique. So, Floetrol is put into all my paint. And I use Artist Loft's Flow acrylic paint as much as possible. I also have a lot of Liquitex basic acrylic. I have Grumbacher. Another brand I would really like to use is Winsor Newton. I have Art Minds, which is a little bit less expensive. I use a lot of Americana Decor satin enamels, Americana Decor textures, and Americana Decor metallics. So that's these three right here, actually. For our examples of what I use. And I add them typically to the paint, the pre-existing paint, except for the gold. I just add Floetrol and gold and just a touch of the Extreme Sheen. It's hard to find. So we're going to make the gold first. And because the gold is more expensive than the other paints, and I use less of it, I'm going to make it in this 5.5 ounce container. And there's you can buy them in tubes, and you can buy the lids in tubes, and these lids also fit the 4 ounce, so it's really nice. You can buy these little 1 ounce containers and the lids for those as well. And this is really nice when you have when you make preparations for paint mixtures, and when you make actual paint that you're going to be using for like the Dutch pour or something that you're going to be making a little bit at a time. So in any case, here we go. Whoops, sorry for shaking you. So the first thing I do is I strain my Floetrol, except in my container where it's 10:1, it gets strained and then put in here, and then I don't strain it after that. Sorry. And I have different size strainers. I've inherited some from my grandfather, and this is one that I had purchased. It's much sturdier. But when I've got a little cup like this, it's nice to use a little strainer to make sure that I don't get any lumps from the Floetrol. And I'm going to put about half the amount, slightly more than half the amount of Floetrol as I will the gold paint. And I'll reuse the containers. This one is still a new container, but I will reuse a container like this to make gold until there's no more gold on the sides. So in this case, I'm just going to pour it down into the cup of Floetrol, and I'm watching until it's at the mark where it would be about twice as much as what was there, and go like that so I don't have to get any waste. Put the lid back on it as soon as possible so there is no skin. This is going to be dripping into the next parcel. So we're going to take I use these instead of popsicle sticks. Tongue depressors are a lot easier to hold on to. And so I mix it instead of whip it. Let's see if I can go like this and show you. I try to get the sides scraped and then push the paint against the sides and then scrape. So I'm trying to make sure that the bottom, all the Floetrol is mixed in with the paint, and then I go like this and make sure that there isn't any lumps. It's a mound on a mound on a mound. It's not too thick. And then I take this Extreme Sheen Deco Art, also 24 karat gold, and if you can see, it's just a little more bling. So I'm gonna drop in, literally drops. It's starting to run out, and so I will then add Floetrol to it. So you're seeing about a teaspoon going in there. Just adds a little more excitement to it. The cost is about the same if you buy 2 ounces this size versus buying 8 ounces. This might be slightly, no, it's about the same. So if you can find this, I guess it would be better, but it's wasting more. It's harder to get it out of the container. It's wasting more plastic. In any case, sometimes not having quite so much bling is good. Okay, so I mix this in again, trying not to mix the bulb, mix air in it. I'm trying to not whip it. I'm mixing it. And when I'm done, I'm going to cut the stick short enough to stay in the container. Make sure that I clean my scissors immediately after cutting something that has paint on it. And that's perfect. So now I can keep this nice and safe from the air. With the Floetrol in it, it's not like it's going to dry out. In fact, this color, just to show you, I left the bag off last night. I forgot. And so this didn't have a cover on it. And so I'm gonna have to strain it today so I can get stuff like that out and not lose the paint. And typically I just put a Ziploc baggie over like this. You could cut that stick off and then use it in one of these containers, but then the stick gets a little hard to stir in there, especially if you have a full cup. So this is okay. You just need to push the air out with your baggie. Okay. So we've got our very important gold made. End of part 1 for how to make our colors, and we're starting part 2 on how to make white.